Welcome to part 8 in the percents video series. We're going to kind of revert back a little bit and get away from applications for the moment and talk about converting fractions to percents a little bit. Make sure it's very clear on how to do that. So let's say the fraction to begin with is 3/4 and we want to convert that to percents. Well, you say 3/4 is equal to what out of 100, what percent. That's all that's really saying, is what percent. So there's a couple ways we could solve for it. We can just get this in terms of 100 over here, or we can multiply by 100 and simplify for x. We're going to multiply by 100. Well, if you do it to the right, you do it to the left. This cancels. 100 divided by 4 is 25. 25 times 3, 75 is x. So it's 3/4 is equivalent to 75%. So if you have 33 45ths, something that's not going to look that nice, don't think it's any more difficult than 3/4, because in reality you do the same thing. If you want to know the percent, you set it equal to percent and you solve for your x. You want to get rid of the denominator, so you multiply each side by 100, because that cancels that. And for this part, we'll go ahead and use the calculator. So you get 100 times 33, and we're going to divide that by 45. So x turns out to be 73 and 3 repeating. So 33 out of 45 is 73.33 repeating percent. Let's do another one. Let's say we have 3/7, and we want to know what that is in form of percents. You do the same thing. You set it equal to some number over 100, multiply each side by 100. Whoop. This cancels the 100s, so we're left with 300 over 7, which we will also just plug that into a calculator. No sense in making it any harder than it has to be. We'll just say 42.88. So 3/7 is 42.88. And you can kind of know that you're pretty correct, because if you think about what half of 7 is, you actually get 3.5 of 7. So if this was a 0.5, 3.5 here, this would actually be 50%. It would be half of a half. Since it's only 3, it's going to be a little bit less than half, which in this case is 42. So you could also use logic to help make sure that your answer's right. For instance, 3/4, well, you could always think about how many quarters are in a dollar, for instance. Here you can see obviously that 33 is much larger than half of 45, so your answer should be somewhere above 50. And it's just a little bit of logic to help keep track of whether or not you're doing it correctly. So if there's any confusion about why I'm multiplying each side by 100, I could go over other methods to solving these problems, including cross multiplication. Alright, I'll see you later.